So welcome everyone to our Nourish Your Gut cooking class this evening. Thank you for being on with us. As you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Also at the end, I'll open it up for anyone to come up with any other questions, or if you have tips along the way that you think everyone else will be interested in, please feel free to put those in the chat, or when we ask, you can come off mute and share those tips or ask those questions as well. My name's Laura Jacobson. I am a team leader here in the Hills District of Sydney. We've got several consultants on tonight ready to share a few different recipes with you from the new Nourish Your Gut recipe collection from Louise Keats. Now, Louise Keats is the granddaughter of Margaret Fulton, and she's a dietitian. She's been just coming up with her own recipe books for several years, and she's had a partnership with Thermomix for a few years as well. So we think she's pretty great, and I've been to a few of her seminars. She is very knowledgeable in the whole world of food, especially healthy cooking. So hopefully you get some tips from this evening. We are going to be presenting dishes that help you learn how to use your Thermomix to cook recipes that help with your gut health, and using ingredients that help with your gut health. So basically gut health, for those who, hopefully if you're on here, you already know, but and hopefully already motivated to nourish your gut, but if not, everyone starts somewhere. Basically, because our gut is full of most of our serotonin receptors, it's why some people call it our second brain. And a lot of our bacteria is in our gut, and we need to balance that so that your digestive system works well and so that your body absorbs the nutrients it needs. Basically, it's important to help break down your food. What have I written here? Oh yeah, so without the right balance, you're not going to get the right nutrient production and absorption. It also helps protect against food allergies, intolerances, memory, overall brain health, including mental health. For younger people, it helps us all grow. Yeah, so many different reasons why we should all be looking after our gut health. In particular, if you have different conditions or illnesses or allergies, or just anything that you think isn't quite right. Obviously, we know we are what we eat, and what we eat really is important to our body's health. So really great to be looking after our gut, in particular by eating or incorporating things into our diet that are probiotic or prebiotic, and anything fermented is going to be great as well. Bone broth, sauerkraut, kefir, kombucha, yogurt, a whole variety of vegetables, so many different ways you can help look after your gut. So we will get started, and just so you are aware, the recording of this will be available to you all tomorrow, so if you miss anything, you can catch up. We're also going to be sending out the cookidoo links to the recipes. Yeah, as I said, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. But let's just get to our first dish. So I'm going to introduce you to the lovely, lovely Nadia, who is going to make a very quick dish for us all, and I'll let her introduce herself. Are you there, Nadia?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Hi everyone, my name's Nadia. I've been with Thermomix for almost 2 years now, and I'm a mom of 3. And I'm currently actually on a journey with gut health at the moment, trying to figure out what is wrong with what's going wrong with it. So the recipes personally have been very beneficial, as well as hundreds of other recipes I found, which I love on cookidoo, because you can specifically filter and be able to put in ingredients or less ingredients that you specifically need: dairy-free, gluten-free, egg-free, I mean every ingredient that you can think of. So the dish I'm doing today, is a smoothie, and it's a cashew cacao smoothie, and it's really easy. It only has 4 ingredients plus ice, and going to do it over here. Hopefully you can see it. I have to tilt this so you can doesn't get blurry. So I've put it under my weekly planner. Start cooking. So take the lid off. We add 1 banana broken into pieces. Now I've done some research, and banana, it has really good resistant starch, which is a prebiotic. Apparently though, the riper you go, the sweeter it is, but the less resistant starch there is. So if you really want to get more prebiotics, then you would try to eat a less ripe banana. If that makes any sense. And just broken that up. And then next is 60 grams of cacao protein powder. Roughly 60 grams. And optional is a tablespoon of collagen powder, which I don't have, but you can easily find them at the health food shops. And 3 tablespoons of cashew butter, which you can actually make in your Thermomix. We have recipes for them. So any kind of nut butter you can actually make in the Thermomix. Peanut butter, cashew, almond butter are really easy, and probably you would save you money, as well as it says 250 grams of milk of your choice, and I'm choosing almond milk because I can't actually have dairy, so this works for me. And you can make any of your nut milks or rice milk. What's another one? Roughly 250 grams. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but yeah, all your alternative milks: oat milk, rice milk, almond milk, anything really. You can make them in the Thermomix. You just need a nut bag strainer, and then 6 cubes of ice. Lid. Hopefully this won't wake the children up. For 30 seconds on speed 10. And that's it. Oh my goodness. Talk about chocolate overdose. I'll put that back in. And you can sprinkle a little bit more cacao, I guess, to make it look nice. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Nadia. That looks great. Very easy. So that's awesome. Okay. Any questions about the cacao smoothie? Feel free to come off mute now or write them in the chat. I think it was pretty straightforward, but questions are always welcome. Okay, if Nana, thanks. Will says it's yum. So I am going to introduce you now to Rhonda. Rhonda's going to make us some more chocolatey goodness, and I will just spotlight her now.
Hi, I'm Rhonda. I've been a consultant now for nearly 12 months, probably 10 months. And we're going to make some brownies. We're going to make some chocolate mud muffins. and they're out of the Gut Health book. And I've got it already up on my screen. I'm just going to push start cooking, and I've preheated the oven, and I'm not going to line the tins because I'm using the rose gold tins from the bakingware from the Thermomix shop. And I'm making mini muffins tonight because they're for my grandchildren, and they're only 3 and 12 months old, so they require a smaller one. So I don't need to grease the hob. So we're going to take 150 grams of cashews. I'll just zero that. If I move it right. Okay. Then I'm going to insert the measuring cup, which I didn't get out. That's easy to get. And then this is just going to go for 6 seconds, so hopefully it won't be too loud. When you're using the machine all the time, you can get used to the sounds, and you can see that sometimes even a second or 2 seconds before, you feel like, oh, it's already done its job, and that's just the power of the machine. So we're going to transfer that into a bowl and set it aside. And you can see like now you can't see, but what 6 seconds has done, but it's turned it basically into a flour. Then we're going to add the dark chocolate. Now with dark chocolate, the darker you go, the bitterer it is. And you need to sort of work out with your taste buds what suits you. But the darker you go, the more probiotics are in the chocolate and the more health benefits you get for your gut health. So I'm actually fortunate that I quite like it, quite bitter. So I have a 70% dark chocolate in here at the moment. And it asks for a minimum of 70, but you can, I think there is an 80 and a 90 if you'd like it. It's just asking us to, that's gonna be 5 seconds. It's asking us to scrape down the sides. It's actually quite dry, so it's fine. I don't need to do that, which I love it. We're just going to give it another whiz. It's actually going to melt the chocolate. This is actually going to go for 3 minutes. So while we're while we're in our 3 minutes, I'm just going to talk some of the tips in the back of in the recipe. My phone just played up, so let me get back to, okay. So in the recipe, it gives you some tips and tricks down the bottom, and it tells you about the dark chocolate being a source of proanthocyanin. If you read the recipe, you'll get that word. It's not one. I'm not good on big words, and it's a kind of prebiotic, and it's certain beneficial gut bacteria that the gut bacteria feed on. So generally speaking, the higher the cacao, there's a difference between cacao and cocoa. So cacao is spelled AO and cocoa is OA. And it all comes down to the processing and of it. It's a difference, like to sort of give you a basic, it's like the difference between raw sugar and white sugar. So cacao is in its rawest state, less processed, less things taken out of it. So it's more beneficial to you. But it's also a lot bitter, but it is the same starting product. It is the same bean, just like with raw sugar and white sugar. It all comes from the same sugar cane. It all comes down to the processing. So the higher the percentage, whether it's 70, 75, 80 or 90% cacao, that's where your bitterness comes from. So I'm just going to read here too in this recipe. Australian gut health expert Dr. Jason Horlick is a keen advocate for eating black beans. So in the recipe, this is going to be black beans, and they have polyphenols, which are a range of soluble and insoluble fibers. They've got resistant starches, and it's an all-in-one package. Also with, we're also going to be using a product called green banana flour. So I've chosen this one. I don't know if you can see the packet there. So this is an Australian made one. And the benefits of having green bananas is the lower sugar content. It is 100% gluten-free for anyone with allergies, and it's great for if you're worried about the GI the glycemic index of your dish. So let's just see where we're up to now. Okay, we're going to add so it's asking for a 400-gram tin of black beans, and when you drain it, it comes down to approximately 250. So I've got my, so this is what I started off with, which was a can of black beans, and I've drained it, ready to go. So we're going to put that in. And then we're going to add the green banana flour. So it's only 50 grams, but green banana flour, if you've ever worked with flours like coconut flour, once you get out of your normal wheat flours, the flours can have a different absorbency rate. So with a banana flour, it works similar to coconut flour. So you only need 1/4. So if you wanted to make this with ordinary flour, you would have to, where we've got 50 grams, you would have to times that before. So you would need 200 grams of flour. But because we're using the green banana flour for health and gut health, we're only going to use 50 grams. But it works, if you've worked with coconut flour, you know the absorbency is so much higher, so you don't need as much. Then we're going to have 60 grams of banana. That's going in. And 2 tablespoons of raw cacao. I don't know if you can see this, but the raw cacao is just not as bright a color. It's not a fake color. It's more a natural color than cocoa because of the processing, and there's no additives. It's 100% raw product. We've got 3 eggs, and I didn't bore you with cracking them. I put them all into a thing so I can just pop them in. And then we're going to add our teaspoon of vanilla, which I've got an organic vanilla, which I refill my jar. So it's not really, there's no label. It's just, oh, it smells beautiful. And I've only got I'm going to use the 1/2 teaspoon measure for that. And then we're going to add our coconut oil, which I've measured out already, just to make it a little bit quicker. And 80 grams. Now, at this point here with your milk, you can choose to use any sort of milk. And if you didn't want to, if you had no nut milk, you could just use either coconut water or milk or rice milk. Now, I'm going to have to digress here because I actually spilt that picking up, so I have to add a bit more milk. Don't you love it when a demonstration comes to plan and you just have to improvise on the spot? And our honey, I've got our honey here. I use a raw honey, so it hasn't had any heat used in it to have it removed from the hive. And the reserved cashews. So here's our reserved cashews. Okay. Then we're going to, now this is going to go for 2 minutes. I'm not sure, Laura, if you've got something to fill the 2 minutes?
Always, I can talk anytime.
Okay, you do it.
Okay, so if you can just mute yourself. Yeah, great. Okay, I can tell you for 2 minutes what the current promotions are on Thermomix in case any of you are looking to invest in a Thermomix or if you know someone who is. We have a few days left in July, and we have a great gift with purchase, which is our beautiful festive flavor book. So not to do with gut health, but it's a great book nonetheless, really great for entertaining and leading up to Christmas, but it's our book for July because of Christmas in July. The beginning of the book also has some really great planning guides and that can help you plan for your Christmas. And there's also a heap of gift ideas in here as well. So really great book that we love. As well as that book in July, you will also receive our oval thermo server, which we're going to show you a bit later tonight in one of the recipes. But our thermo servers are awesome. They keep your food hot or cold for a few hours, and just there's a lot of different uses for them, which we can go over as well. But we also have a sneak peek into the August promo, which is the book of month for August is our Flavors of India recipe book, which is just another one of my favorites. I think I have too many favorites, but so many really great recipes in this book. It's really authentic as well. It was produced by, Indian chefs. So it's a really great book. And as well as the book is to receive our, trying to pick it up to show you, our Thermomat, which is really great for rising your dough. So you can wrap up your dough in there, and it's really great for that. Working with pastry, and you can also bake on it in your oven. So it's great to work with, non-stick. So they're our promotions. So for July or August. So it's really great that at the end of the month we know what it is in advance. So anyone wanting to purchase a Thermomix can choose whether you do that now for the July offer or wait a few days for the August offer. So does that cover 2 minutes, Rhonda? She's not back yet, so I can tell you.
Yep. It certainly does. So my next step is to scrape down the bowl, and it's just been the most well-behaved mixture. It hasn't really gone beyond its boundaries. It's been so good. And now all we need to do is why has it done that? I've read the recipe and it's not following what I want it to do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add some baking powder, and if I remove my spoon, I removed my spoons while we were in the break. So we're going to add some baking powder, and we're going to add the walnuts. Now the walnuts are optional, so if you've got people with nut allergies, then there's tree nut allergies and other nut allergies. But if you don't want to add the nuts because of maybe even your child's ability to cope with nuts, or if you don't like them, we can leave them out. So we're going to add that. And now this is just going to mix. It's going to mix for 30 seconds, and I'm going to leave you here because after this is mixed for 30 seconds, I need to let it rest for another few minutes, and then I'm going to put it into my rose gold mini muffin tray. And then I'm just going to cook it. So I'm not going to bore you with filling up the muffin tray because I don't want you to see how inadequate I am in pouring it. So I'm just going to pass you back to Laura, and I'm going to show you the finished product when we come back to me later on. Is that okay, Laura?
That is great. Sorry, I was finding my mute button. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Looks very easy, and I'm sure they're going to be delicious. We're all going to be wanting to try it, and that's the problem with these online classes is we can't taste the food or smell it while it's cooking. But hopefully you can all be inspired and feel confident after watching us do it to then recreate it at home in your own homes with your own Thermomix. So right now we are going to cross to, here's one I made earlier, video of Alex Jones, one of our beautiful consultants. Some of our recipes, this is the benefit of online classes, is we can speed up the watching process for you so that we can cut out the cook time in between. So I am going to show you this video of Alex making the chicken and black rice. You'll see, it's just looks so great. Another one from this new collection.
Hi everyone! So my name is Alex and today I'll be doing a quick little video on how to cook chicken and black rice from the latest Gut Health collection. So we've got it saved in here for the 11th of July. Black rice bowl with chicken and mushroom. So let's get started. 1 garlic clove, some sesame oil. You might be able to hear in the background as well. I've already put the rice on actually in my TM5 just to keep the recipe moving along at a bit of a quicker pace. So it takes 25 minutes to cook the black rice in the steaming basket. So I've already got that going behind me. But hopefully it'll all time out all right. You can see I'm going over a bit on some of these measurements. I mean, it's really up to you how you use the machine still. It does the 1 gram increments on scales, as you would know, but for something like this where it's a marinade, I'm a little bit more relaxed to just put the ingredients in. And some white miso paste. So sticky. Lid on. And excuse me whilst I just wash my hands. So place a bowl onto the mixing bowl lid and weigh in some mushrooms. So I can tell you I've done that here. I've got 3 different kinds of mixed Asian mushrooms and another bowl. Put that one in and weigh in our chicken fillets. So these guys here, I've just halved some chicken thighs. Set that bowl aside and add half the miso sauce over the mushrooms and add the rest of the sauce over the chicken. And then we'll go from there in a moment. So, let me show you. This is our sauce. Perfectly all diced up. That whole garlic clove, as you can see, has now been blended. One minute whilst I just mix this around. And try to get all my garlic from the bottom. I'll leave that to sit there for a second. So, without cleaning the mixing bowl, put the jug back in and weigh in the 220 grams of black rice. Add water, put it back in, and as you'll see, oh, it's just finished. So here is exactly that setup. So I've already put the black rice into the steaming basket here on the TM5, which you can see. And so that's been going for the 25 minutes already, just to speed up the recipe a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll hit next and we'll go do the next step now, which is heat a large non-stick fry pan. And we're gonna add our chicken. So, I think this recipe is actually a really good, hang on, I'll just put this in first, it's noisy. And I'll leave that there for a tick. So it just says here, add the reserved chicken and cook for 5 to 6 minutes each side until golden and sticky. But while it's cooking, continue with the rest of this recipe. And once it's cooked, we're going to put that chicken just into a thermal serving bowl. So the rest of the recipe, we're going to put the varoma into position on top of that rice and put in some, where did I put it? Here. Some baby broccolini, cut into thirds, and we're going to put the lid on, and it's going to go for 7 minutes on speed. Okay, so I picked up the phone just because it's so noisy with the expeller and the fry pan and the Thermomix going, but I wanted to show you here that we've got the baby broccolini now in the top. We've got the rice here in the bowl underneath, so at the moment the Thermomix is still cooking the rice and the broccolini all together. And then here's the chicken which we were talking about earlier, which is now being marinated. Now back over here, I just wanted to show you in the bottom of the recipe, the TM6 is excellent in the way how you can read the recipe in full view. So at the top, we've got our recipe and all the steps that we were following. But then down the bottom, here, you can see all of these points here about gut health. So it's a gut health recipe. And thankfully, Thermomix have gone to the extra trouble of talking to us exactly why this recipe has been included. So stuff like Miso here is a source of probiotics, beneficial bacteria for your gut health. Similarly, black and brown rice. And interestingly, which I thought, which I learned, is that once cooled, the resistant starch in rice, which is a type of prebiotic, increases. So if you're looking to increase your gut health, one thing to consider might be actually eating it the following day, but serving it cold. 2 minutes 35 left on that, and the chicken's almost done. Okay, I'm going to press pause, but I'll start you back when the chicken's finished. Okay, the chicken is basically cooked now and it's all crispy and miso delicious. I'm going to put that here into the thermo server. You can see keep that warm whilst the rest of the ingredients are all finishing off. And the mushrooms are here. Toss them in. And it says cook these for 3 to 4 minutes until they're tender. So I'm just stirring the marinade around. Right. Here we've now finished our broccolini and we've finished our rice. Excellent. I'll just leave that sit for a minute. I'll turn back on. Alright, well, whilst they just cook for another minute, I'll grab a plate and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back again just for the last bit. So I wanted to show you the mushrooms are now tender and I've got 4 spring onions here that have been chopped up. I'm just going to put them in for 1 minute just until they're slightly softened, but I don't want them to completely lose all their green. So I'll let them sit for a sec whilst I plate up the rest. So here's the black rice. I think black rice is a lot of fun just to mix it up. Well, I personally don't use it a lot, so it is something different. Some of the broccolini. Turn that up here. And some of the mushrooms. Do a few. There we go. Well, chicken and black rice and mushrooms and broccolini. And a really good example, I think, of how the Thermomix can be used in conjunction with, you know, your normal stovetop. So it doesn't replace them all, you can use them together. Make the marinade, steam the broccoli, make the rice. Yeah, thanks guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex, for putting that presentation together for us. Yeah, and really great point that just because we use our Thermomix a lot and it does so much for us, it doesn't mean it's the only thing you use in your kitchen. So that's really great. Okay, so here's one I did earlier. This is what I made for dinner this afternoon for my family, and I'm going to show you the video of this just so that it could cut out. I didn't want to do it live, so I could cut out some of that cooking time. So yeah, so hopefully this is helpful for you all to see this beautiful dish. It got rave reviews from everyone. My family all loved it. So there you go. Hi, I'm going to show you now how to make a miso chicken noodle soup, which is from the new Gut Health collection from Louise Keats on cookidoo. And the first step is asking me to cook some noodles. I'll just show you. I've got my noodles here in my oval thermo server, and I am just going to pour some boiling water over the noodles. And these will I'll just set this aside to cook while I carry on with the rest of the recipe in the Thermomix. Put the lid on there, and the noodles I've chosen to use are ramen noodles. You can use soba, you could use any dried noodles, rice noodles, it doesn't matter. But I just get these from the Asian section. I love using those noodles in a lot of different recipes. So I'm going to set this aside. Put that over there. Okay, so I have the recipe here in my meal planner for today. So I will click in and press start. And it's telling me to prepare the noodles, which you just saw me do. And so now I'll just carry on with the rest of the recipe. So the first step is to add fresh ginger. So I have a nice big block of ginger here that I'm putting in. And we know ginger is great for its health qualities as well, and helps with nausea, and also good for your digestive system. So the ginger is in, and it's telling me to put the lid on and to chop. Three seconds to chop your ginger, same as if you're doing garlic or onions or anything. So chopping in your Thermomix is awesome. And I will just show you what we have. And it smells delicious. It's all nicely chopped. I will give it a little scrape. It's not very important because it's just going to be part of the soup anyway. So now this next ingredient, is to add a litre of liquid chicken stock. So you could make your own chicken stock, or you can use chicken stock paste. There's a great recipe for that on cookidoo. Or what I'm using today is bone broth. And you can buy bone broth, but it's very satisfying to make your own. I make my own bone broth, and I make it in really big batches, and I'm just going to put all that in because it doesn't matter if I have a bit of extra. I make it in my pressure cooker and just use a heap of bones from grass-fed beef bones or chicken bones, whatever you're doing. Veggies, like scrap type veggies, herbs, water, a bit of apple cider vinegar, coconut oil. What else goes in? Yeah, different things. I can send a recipe for the bone broth, but it's just so great for your gut health because of the collagen that's in it, the gelatin that's in it, the glutamine. It's all great for your anti-inflammatory, just really great for your bones as well, because you've got all the calcium that's gone into there from the animal's bones that are now for you as well. So lots of different reasons why bone broth is really good for you. If you haven't tried it, just give it a go. A lot of recipes that even just ask for stock or water, you can use it instead of, yeah, it's great to add it into your diet. So I will press next. Oh, it's asking me now for the miso paste. It's asking for white miso paste. It looks like this. I know it says white and it's not white, but if you compare this to the red miso paste, it is a lot lighter. Now because miso is that enough? Because miso is fermented, that's another really great thing for your gut health because it's got the vitamins B, it's got vitamins E, K, folic acid, and basically just anything that's fermented is going to be great beneficially for your gut. So that's another reason why miso is in this recipe. So tamari, oh, I've put it out into this little bottle because just easier for the recipe. Tamari is a version of soy sauce. It is it's a healthier version than a lot of the commercially available soy sauce because of just the way it is. There's no additives, and it's yeah, fermented soy sauce. So great to use tamari. Now it's just asking me to add the lid. Just sits on top and turn to speed 1. So now this is going to cook for 10 minutes. Because I'm in guided cooking, this was already set, 10 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1. If you want to know what is coming up in the recipe without having to open a book or open your app, you can come to these, I'll show you closer. Come to these 3 dots here and then press the recipe detail button and we can look down to see what's next. So now while this is cooking, I will get my chicken ready, my cabbage and my Asian greens. I might even get my mushrooms and everything ready as well. The other thing you can look at while the recipe is cooking is to come down below and see this tips section, which talks about which noodles you might want to pick. It also talks about replacing the liquid stock with a homemade bone broth, which I talked about. It even recommends a recipe for that. It talks about, here you go, it talks about why miso is good for you. It's a good probiotic, beneficial bacteria, which can also help support your gut health. Cabbage is a particularly good source of prebiotic fiber, as are the shallots, which are in this recipe, and so is the Asian greens. I don't know if it says that there, but yeah, it's really great to get prebiotics into your diet as well, which helps increase your microbial diversity and help the bacteria in your microbiome. So getting plenty of vegetable variety is also really good. We know that about getting different coloured vegetables, but just a different variety of veggies is good to make sure you're covering all the different vitamins and minerals each one has. And I think that's what this is talking about. Yep, different types of prebiotic fibers. So yeah, a broad range of veggies will help you with your gut health. So, and I love that this recipe, and the recipes actually all in this collection, they all have those nutritional advice in there as well. Often the tip section of the recipes is more about the method and where to find different ingredients. It doesn't often go into the nutritional benefits. It does always have on the side the nutrition guide, as in energy, protein, carb, fat. That's always in, and if there's sugar as well, that's always there. But yeah, great that Louise Keats has added some extra advice for us on the recipe. I'm going to pause here while this cooks and come back for the next step. Okay, this 10 minutes is almost up, but in the meantime, the other thing that has happened is the noodles were cooked. So I've used my Varoma as a colander to tip out all the water, and then I've just tipped the noodles back into the thermoserver to keep hot. So our insulated oval thermoserver keeps the food hot for a couple of hours or cold. So I can show you the noodles. Well, you just see they're all nicely cooked in there. So I will continue setting that aside. They're fine just to go until the soup's ready. Now this is done. Good timing, press next. Now it's asking me to add in the chicken tenderloins. So I've just cut, that's what happened in that 10 minutes as well, is I cut those tenderloins in half. Nice and easy. So that's going in. Great. And then it's telling me to put the lid on. And we will cook this for 8 minutes. So you're free to leave the kitchen and do whatever else you need to do around the house. Okay, so this is ready. So I'll press next, and it's asking me to remove the chicken and to put it in somewhere to stay warm. And that you don't need to stress about it being staying super warm. If you don't have a thermoserver to put it in, just kind of cover it as best you can, because at the end it's going to go back, like the soup's going to be so hot and it's just going to be heated up again by that, as long as you're keeping it food safe. And it's only a few minutes that the chicken isn't in here anyway, so yeah, don't stress too much. So the chicken's just been gently poaching in there. This smells really good. I'm sorry we can't convey that, in this class tonight. Just making sure I get most of the chicken out. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah, oh wait, oh I think there's another bit down there. There we go. Forgot how much chicken was in there. Okay, so that has been cooking in there. Because it's tenderloin, it's been cooking, and also it started to shred, which is part of the recipe anyway. We're going to shred it. So that's really great. Leave soup in the bowl. Yes, done. Place varoma into position. So I'm going to take out the measure cup for that. So the varoma can sit on top. Now in our varoma, we are going to place the cabbage, which I've just really thinly sliced. And the Asian greens, I've got pak choy here. They're just really roughly chopped. But you can see, oh, let's see, I'll be able to show you. It's really nice and full now. The varoma is 3.3 litres, so you can make a lot of food in there. By the time you fill the bowl with 2.2 litres and the varoma with 3.3 litres, you can make a lot of food in your Thermomix. So, meanwhile, shred the reserved chicken and divide it between your serving bowls with the noodles. So I will do that. That's kind of boring to watch. What is it? Well, anyway, I'll just get my board. I thought I might as well show you how to shred, for those who really don't know how to shred some of the chicken. If you use 2 forks, it should just shred really easily. But I did also want to mention that you can shred your chicken in the Thermomix, but because I'm using it right now, I am following the recipe. It tells you just to do it manually. So 3 or 4 seconds on reverse, speed 4 is how you shred your chicken, and it just shreds beautifully. I do that for like going in soups or making sandwich meat. What else? Oh, for pulled pork, after you've cooked your pork, I'd like to let Thermomix shred it for you. But see, I'm just using 2 forks to do it manually. You can do that. I'm sure some people use chopsticks to do that. That works as well. It's just pulling apart the pieces that are already, it's not cutting it because it's already been poached. It's just pulling it apart at the seams where you can see it already coming apart. So yeah, pretty easy. And if you want to keep your chicken whole in your soup, you can leave it whole. You don't have to shred it. So I'll keep doing that and show you the next step. Okay, this is ready now. So it's telling me to remove the varoma and divide the cooked greens between the serving bowls. When taking your varoma off, I do just want to show you this. Because the contents are hot, just open it away from you rather than opening it that way where the steam is coming right at your face level. So just open it away from you. You can see the steam coming out the top there. It smells so good. And then you just divide some of the greens, if you can see that, between the bowls. So I'm getting a mixture of the pak choy and the cabbage. Great. And we are going to add in, okay, while that's happening, yeah. Add in our shiitake mushrooms. Now shiitake mushrooms are good for vitamin B and D2. You can buy them at most fruit shops or just supermarket. If you can't ever find them, you can buy dried shiitake mushrooms and soak them for half an hour to rehydrate them. You can do that as well. And now it's asking me to add the fresh enoki mushrooms. That's these ones, for those who aren't sure. These have a protein that help balance out your immune system, as well as having some antioxidants in them. So these mushrooms are great. So that's just going in as well. And lid back on. Do I have a measure cup? Yes, I do. And this is just going to go for 2 minutes. It's on reverse. I don't know if you can see that. But here, we've got it on reverse down here. That means just the blunt side of the blades are spinning, so nothing in there is going to be chopping. The blades in the Thermomix are Solingen steel, and when going in a forward motion, a clockwise motion on a high speed, they're very powerful. But yeah, just on a very low speed on reverse, it's just a great stirring tool so that your dinner can be cooking and stirring itself while you go out of the kitchen and do other things. So I will. Okay, that is done, and I believe that is the end of the recipe. It's telling me to divide the soup and the mushrooms between the bowl and between the bowls, and then to serve with a garnish, which is great too. But Smells so good. I want to get a mixture of the mushrooms first before I start randomly dividing. Looks so good. Okay, now I'm going to pour. When you're pouring liquid out of your Thermomix bowl, so normally you grab it via this, I guess, but if you get your hand underneath and really grab the lower handle, you've got a lot more control. And if I just pour on top of my spatula, it's not going to splatter everywhere. I'm just pouring in the soup. You can see what I've done here. And the last step is your garnish. So I've got some shallots here, which, as we learned earlier, is a great prebiotic. And I have some sesame seeds here as well, which are always a good garnish on top of anything. Lots of different seeds have different vitamins in them, which is great. So there is our miso chicken and noodle soup from the Gut Health Collection. Hopefully you can all see that. And you still have quick and easy it was for me to do. I mostly didn't have to be in the kitchen, but that's ready to go. Thanks for watching. Okay, there we go. Will's asked a question of 3 dots on a TM5. Okay, yes, on the TM5, it's actually different. It's not 3 dots. It's on the bottom left of your screen, there's an arrow. You press the arrow and then you can go into the full view of the recipe. I've just turned on my TM5 so I can show you that when it turns on. But in the meantime, we are going to go to, it was really delicious. Sorry, you're all saying it looks beautiful and lovely. Thank you. It was really very yummy. And for my kids who don't like mushrooms, the nice enoki mushrooms just looked like noodles. So they were eating mushrooms without even realizing it. So winning. We are going to go to Nat now. I'm hoping she is somewhere. Nat is going to make us a beautiful pasta. And when that's finished, I am just going to show you a few other things about the Thermomix and cookidoo for anyone who wants to stay on to watch that. Here she is. Okay.
Hi, sorry I'm late. I made it. I'm Nat, for anyone that doesn't know me. I am cooking tonight the Cashew Basil Spelt pasta from the new Gut Health Collection. So I'm just going to move my screen down so you can see the Thermomix. It's a bit bright, sorry. I can't get this lighting right in my new house. So I've put this, I've saved this in cookidoo. I've added it to today's planner. So I'm going to start cooking. I've already pre-cooked the pasta. That's just sitting aside. So I'm just going to skip through that. And now I'm going to weigh. Sorry, I'm fighting my kitchen with my children. So I'm putting a bowl on so I can weigh out the peas. Grams of peas. And because I'm using the cookidoo, the scales come up automatically. The recipe tells me what to do. So when I'm rushed like I am tonight, I don't have to use my brain, which is just wonderful. And I've boiled some water, so I'm just going to cover that with some boiling water and put that aside until we need it later. I'm sure you don't need to be putting water on peas. We all know how to do that, don't we? Cool. So now for the fun part, I'm going to add in the cashews. So it's 50 grams of roasted cashews. Next, okay. Probably be a bit noisy now. 2 seconds. Then we're going to transfer those cashews into a bowl. As you can see, I haven't made this before. I'm winging this tonight, but I know I can do it because that's why I have cookidoo, because I can make anything I want with cookidoo, and it's so easy. Okay, sorry. Oh, okay, now let's have 100 grams of cashews. And I've got the lemon zest, which I peeled off the lemon. Now, I didn't have time to get any Parmesan cheese, so I'm going to use Tasty Plus. Anyone that knows me knows that I don't like Parmesan, so we don't eat Parmesan in my house. So this is how we're going to change it up a little bit and have some tasty cheese, because I'm a boring person like that.
Yeah, it's very boring.
There you go. See, my daughter says I'm very boring. Charming child. Okay, so speed 8 for 5 seconds.
I'm not getting any of my ice cream now.
Okay, and now I'm going to add in some avocado. So it says approximately 180 grams. That's 1 to 2 avocados. Now, if you don't know this thing about your, I can't show you, there's 3 dots at the top. So if you actually wanted to weigh your avocado, just hit those 3 dots and hit scales. It'll bring your scales up. So if you wanted, if you had to watch the weights for any dietary requirements or anything, you can actually just weigh it in. Or if you really like avocado, you can just chuck the whole lot in. And then you just press out of that and you go next. And then lemon juice. So the lemon that I just peeled the zest off, I'm just going to squeeze the juice into that. So I don't have to waste another lemon or get a bottle of lemon juice out. We'll just use the fresh stuff. If you wanted to, you could actually probably just take the skin off completely and just throw the flesh in for the lemon juice. But because I haven't made this before, I didn't want to risk ruining the recipe, so I'm just going to squeeze it in. Probably wouldn't ruin the recipe, but when I'm showing it and I haven't cooked it before, I want to look like I kind of know what I'm doing. And then some basil leaves. So it's 50 grams of basil, which is a lot of basil. That'll do. And then some olive oil, 80 grams of olive oil. Just weighing that in. Okay. Smells really nice with that basil in there. Okay, and then that's 80 grams of filtered water. So I'm just going to use my bottle of water. And garlic clove. Okay, finally the lid. And 20 seconds on speed 5. Next, go scrape down the sides of the bowl. Oh, it looks nice. I'll just quickly take it out and show you guys. It's looking quite nice. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so I just got to scrape the sides down. It smells really nice. Okay, well you can do that, mate. You're 11 years old. Told you, Mum's got to do this tonight. Okay, lid back on. So we have ice cream dramas in my kitchen right now because they need ice cream. Okay, another 20 seconds on speed 9. Oh, as you can see, nice and pureed. I'll just scrape that down back into the bowl. And I'm just going to grab those peas. And the peas, and then, okay. Now we're going to add those drained peas in there. Lid goes back on. And just 2 seconds on speed 5. It says until the peas are crushed. So if you're not happy with the consistency, you can go back and you can put them on for another couple of seconds. But they've actually done pretty well. Can't really even see them. There's probably one left in there that hasn't crushed up, but that's okay. I like peas, so I think I can handle eating a whole pea. But if you have people that don't like peas, or you're trying to hide that special yummy vegetable, you can always go back and do that again. So, salt to taste. Just a little bit of salt in there. A little bit of cracked pepper. As much as you want, or as little as you want. And then we add the sauce to the pasta. So let me just grab the pasta. Can you please move so I'm in the bowl? Thank you. So here's my pasta that I cooked earlier. That's spelt pasta. I got told to get it from the health food store, but they actually didn't have it. But I got it from Coles, so it would have been. It's probably ended up being a lot cheaper too than what the health food store would have been. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on top. And it says to stir it in and combine it. So I'll just give it a little bit of a stir. And then sprinkle with some of the cashews. And a little bit of watercress. If you like watercress, I'll put it on for decoration. And if you had any extra cheese, you could put the cheese on, but I haven't grated any extra tonight. And I did want to mention, I just had a note in here that I wrote earlier about the good stuff about this recipe. So it's called the 3 heroes of this dish. There's cashews, the green peas, and avocado. They're all good sources of prebiotics. So each of them helps to feed the good bacteria in your gut so that they can thrive. So this is like really quick and easy, and it's healthy, and goes with our whole gut health theme tonight. So this is, I'm not the world's best presenter, but this is tonight's dinner. Smells good. And that's probably all I have to say. I was really rushed tonight, sorry guys, so I'm not overly prepared. So yeah, but there you go. I made it and I did it.
Nat, thank you. And as you all know, we are just, all of us consultants are just normal people in our normal kitchens, and sometimes kids are around and sometimes we're rushing, but you can see how quick it is to produce a meal in your Thermomix, and that's one of the things we love about our Thermomixes. So one of the main reasons people do invest is to save time and to cook for our families healthy dishes. So Nat has shown that beautifully. That's all the dishes we wanted to present tonight. So if you came just for the dishes, feel free to go. We're really grateful that you came this evening. Thank you for your questions and your feedback in the chat. I am now just going to do a really quick tutorial on cookidoo, because I know a lot of people don't know its full capabilities. So that'll be about 5 minutes. And then for anyone who wants to stay back who hasn't seen a TM6, I can show you. There's a heap of modes on there we haven't used tonight, which I was just going to quickly show you. So maybe another 5 minutes for that. But before I do that, actually, I will answer Will's question about the TM5. If I can just move my camera around. I've got my TM5 here. Can you see this? When you're within a recipe at any stage, you've got this arrow down the bottom here, and you can come here to see different tips, nutritional value. You've got a timer and variations sometimes, but this full view button is how you can see the recipe in its entirety. So you've got the method, and you go up the top to see the ingredients. So a little bit different to the TM6, but it is still there, which is great. Hopefully that answers your questions. Oh yes, sorry, we are going to go to Rhonda for them. Hey, Alinta, thanks for saying that. I didn't forget about Rhonda, but I just kind of did for a minute. I'm going to spotlight Rhonda to show these beautiful muffins.
Okay, so if I pick this up, if I can. Can we see? So we got 24 muffins, and I also got 7 donuts. So with the mix shop, you can actually buy these rose gold trays, which are amazing because it all just slipped out. And I was quite messy, and I need to get a cupcake pin so that I can be more precise with loading my trays. But these are just delicious, and I'll just break one open for you, so that you can see that all this deliciousness inside, and you cannot see one of those beans, any of those healthy things. There's no sugar, and they are just yummy, delicious. Back to you, Laura. I'm going to keep eating.
That's awesome. See, I wish we were in
Yum, yum, yum.
so that we could all have a taste. Yes, so we'll all have to try making those soon. Cool. As promised, I'm just going to do a quick cookidoo tutorial now. Cookidoo is just awesome, and you can do this on your TM6 screen or within the app or the website. So you can scroll down to browse, so you can see latest recipes, different things that are trending. New collections come up here, so you can see these are our latest collections. I might as well show you more. Nourish Your Gut, this is the one we've been using all tonight, but yeah, you can see there's so many to choose from. But basically the quickest thing to do is come here, and if you know what you are going to want to make, like say you want to make, let's go with those mud muffins. If you know what you want to cook, just type in the name of the recipe and it will come up. If you aren't sure what you want to cook, but you know that you want it to have, I don't know, noodles in it, just type in the name of the ingredient you want in it, and all those recipes will come up. You can sort by rating or time or just the newest or whatever, so you can change what comes up first. The other thing you can do is work with your filters. So this is really great to narrow down your search within a category or to expand your search. So you can also choose different tags, like if you need it to be dairy-free or egg-free or gluten-free, whatever it is. You can sort by, filter out by time, portions, rating, bearing in mind that the rating system hasn't been around for that long, so don't put too much weight on that, although it is very helpful. But down the bottom, this is how you can really widen your search in cookidoo, is by unticking Australia. And I like to tick English first and then untick Australia. But if you don't care what language comes up, you can just untick everything and have them all come up. So you can see a whole different range of recipes come up. It's a really good example with chicken, that we have 1,000 English chicken recipes, whereas if I was within Australia, there's just under 400. So the country or region isn't about the cultural dishes, it's about the fact that the Australian head office have created those dishes, and that's what we're ticking. So we want to really include the recipes that all the head offices around the world have created for us. So that's a really great tool to use within your filters. The other thing you can do is, even if you don't know what you want to cook, but you know a type, like say you want to cook a breakfast, you can just type breakfast. Or what's another thing? Healthy. You can just type in the word healthy and all the healthy recipes come up. Or if you want something to be for Christmas, like you can just use any word, and recipes within that search will come up, which is great. I don't know why I thought of Christmas. Yeah, so what was I about to say? Oh, gut health. I was thinking of gut health. If you type in gut, the recipes that are particularly good for your gut will start to come up. You can see there's some great recipes that come up. Once you have found the recipe that you want to make or use, you can use these 3 dots. So pressing the 3 dots brings up a different menu. You can put it in your Cook Today, so it will come up in your weekly planner for today. You can add it to bookmark. I've already got this as a bookmark, so that's why it says remove. But here, there you go. Bookmark. You can add it to a collection. So these are yours. Your collections are named by you. You come here and you press create collection, and you can name them whatever you want to name them. So you can see I've got a few here that are just organized into the collections that I have made. Or you can add to your weekly planner. This is how you can be so organized and help less waste and just know what you're doing for the week. So you can choose which day you want to cook a recipe on. And the last one is add to your shopping list, which is another great option, which I'll add that to show you. Actually, I'll add a few things so you can see what else do I want to add. Mango rice sounds good. So now when I come up here to my recipes, you can see the collections here. So these are the collections I've created, and these are the ones I've saved, because you can just save all collections as well, and they're all here. To save a collection, you just go into it and there's a button you can press to save it. I've already got it saved. So I do want to show you the weekly planner. So this is what I made today, and this is what I've got planned for the rest of the week. And I've got my shopping list here. And what is so great about this shopping list is that it takes all the ingredients for all the different recipes and it puts them into categories, so that as you're going down the aisles in the supermarket, it's all organized. So all your cereals are together, your dairy, your fruit, your meat, your spices are together. It just makes it really easy. I must have added some Indian recipes. All your veggies are together. So it's really easy, and you can add additional things here, like if you need milk or soap or whatever you need. Now, once you have your list the way you want it, and you come here and tick off things you already have as well. So I've already got water, so I'll get rid of that. And I've always got rice, so get rid of that. Once you know what you're doing, you can come here and share this with someone, or you can just open the recipe in your app so that you have got your phone with you, open to the app as you're going down the aisles, putting items in your trolley. You just tick it off with your finger, or you can see this big green button here telling us to order ingredients. Now this is very cool, especially now if you're wanting to avoid the supermarket with social distancing. It only works with Woolworths for now, and so you can take your list and put it in here so that you can do a click and collect or an online, like a home delivery. Now if it's bringing up something you don't want, you just swap it. So say you want this to be, I prefer to use real garlic, so I would just find the Australian garlic and select that. or if you don't like the brand, or if you don't even want vegetable oil, I prefer olive oil. So I would come down here and find the olive oil. I'd usually find an Aussie one. I was just being quick, but just to show you an example of how you can swap it out. Yeah, so if you don't like a particular brand, you can just change that here by pressing the swap button. Once you're ready, you press this button down the bottom that says add to your Woolworths cart. So that is cookidoo in a nutshell. I'll just shut that. Does anyone have any questions about cookidoo? Sorry, I'm just looking now in the chat. Yes, one of the questions is, do you reduce the sugar in some of the American recipes? I absolutely do. I definitely do, by like a lot. So yes, all the recipes are, we call it guided cooking for a reason. You're still in control. So you're still able to come in and sub out recipes or reduce quantities or skip different ingredients. You're allowed to do that when you're cooking. That's totally fine. Okay, I'm just going to really quickly show you. I know there's some people on here tonight who don't have a TM6 yet, so I just want to quickly show you that before we sign off. I've just got the screen here. Oh, so this is the home screen, and what we were cooking tonight was in guided cooking, which was, if you come here, you can see this is the same as cookidoo. You can browse and find a recipe, or you could just search and find what you want to cook. The home screen is for manual cooking, where you don't need to follow a recipe. You just want to do something out of your head or follow a recipe from a book that you already have. So you've got your time here, your temperature, and you've got this temperature control is awesome because you can ferment at 37 and temper chocolate at 40 or 45. You can cook milks at 70 to 80, maybe even 90, and then cook your dinners at 100. We've also got a steaming temperature, which is called Varoma. And we also do have high heat, which is in another mode, which goes to 160 for your caramelizing as well. So the temperature controls are really awesome. And then we have a variety of speeds, which, yeah, I won't go too far. So these are the three main options, and here's where you turn the blades to reverse. If I swipe this way, these are all the other modes we have that you can use on manual mode. So you've got your scales that come up, which go in 1 gram increments, which is just so handy. I'm just touching it to make it go up. Really accurate. You don't need to use measure cups. Just grab your ingredients straight out of the cupboard and weigh it into the bowl. We have dough mode for kneading your doughs, which is great. We didn't do any doughs tonight, but we have other classes available where you can see that. Turbo is a pulse. Pre-clean mode is awesome. After any dinner, I just put some water in my jug, and where it says approximately 5 minutes, it actually detects the mess in your bowl. And if it's really dirty, that might go up to 10 minutes or however long it thinks it needs. But if it's not that messy, it will go down to maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So it's very clever. The pre-clean mode is very, very clever. I love it. Kettle mode's good. Just so you can choose your temperature. So I like to cook my tea at 80 degrees. So it just tells me when the water has reached that. So pretty simple for the kettle. Blend mode, similar, just is blending. We also do have slow cook, sous vide, and ferment mode, which is a great one for making your yogurts. And we have rice cooker, which is the absorption method of rice. And what I do want to show you is, well, there's thicken mode here, which is awesome for sauces, custards and hollandaise and bechamel. But the blank space is also exciting because that means that in future updates, they will be filling these up with other modes. So there's always the possibilities in the future of new modes, which is awesome with your TM6. And they just come as free software updates, which is great. The other thing to show you is my recipes are here. So if you will remember from when I was on cookidoo on the screen, these are my collections here. So it's all in all different places. And your bookmarks are there too. And the weekly planner. So this is what I came to today to cook. Oh, it's taking a second. this is what I came to cook this chicken soup. So you just go into what you've planned for the day and press start, and it goes into the recipe. If you're not ready to start, you can scroll down to see how long it's going to take, whether it's easy or difficult. Your ingredients are there, everything's there. So that was super quick. And if you have more questions, please reach out to your consultant. We do proper demos where we actually show more about the Thermomix itself. Tonight was more a cooking class. So yeah, if you have further questions, please feel free to reach out to either myself or your consultant. We're always happy to help. There are a range of payment options available with the Thermomix. A really great one is to earn it by becoming a consultant. That's whether you have a Thermomix or not. If you've already got one, you come on and you can start earning commission straight away. But if you don't, becoming a consultant is a great way to earn your own TM6. We also have our 24 months interest-free payment plan, which works out at less than $24 a week to have a Thermomix on your bench. So with all the money you're going to save by having a Thermomix, it can pay itself off, which is awesome. We also have another option which splits out the payments over 3 months, or you can just do it in one lump sum as well. So lots of different payment options. I went through the promos earlier. If you're wanting to host your own cooking experience where you just get 2 or 3 friends together, it can be in person or virtual. There are host rewards available, but just another fun night to share the Thermomix with the community, with your friends, and learn some tips along the way as well. It's also another really great way to support your consultant, because that's the only way we can share the Thermomix, and that's how our business is run, is if you help us by sharing with your friends. Yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover, and I was hoping to be done by 9, so that's really great. I am just going to stay on in case anyone has any further questions about anything. It doesn't have to be on topic about what we were covering tonight, but anything Thermomix related or cookidoo related, I will just stay on for that. But thank you again for joining us this evening, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're confident now to cook some of these recipes in your own kitchen.